2012. Some of the stuff I'll mention, and then you can just respond afterwards. But the Kingston example to me is clearly one that we can associate most closely to, given the time and date, and given that it reflects an Ontario-wide situation. In Kingston, their BIA, or Downtown Business Association, was successful. I think primarily they were responsible for convincing that council that downtown was not the location, and therefore they said anywhere but in their vote, their successful vote to exclude what they call their central business district. They had a number of studies, Mr. Deputy Mayor. One was from the Alberta Gaming Research Institute in 2004 that said many urban casinos operate as monopolies in their local market and therefore produce high profit rates and strong economic performances. However, they're more likely to create a monetary loss in the local economy. And they cited another one from '98 by Gazelle that said job creation and economic developments are less for urban casinos than their destination resort casino counterparts. Existing jobs in retail, entertainment, and food service sectors of the economy are often displaced or cannibalized, which is a word we heard earlier, by the gambling industry as spending patterns shift to the gambling in the casino. There was another study, Grisnells and Ormoroff in '96, that found that casinos are associated with a drop in general merchandise and miscellaneous retail and wholesale trade within 10 miles of the proximity on an economic basis there. That's based on a study out of the state of Illinois. Another one in Minnesota. They're on and on. And again, this is a lot of this taken from the good argument provided to the councillors there in the great city of Kingston. This is a good one. The spread of casinos and their role in tourism development. This again talking to the urban versus destination or suburban casino. And one of the points made in this study, and I don't have a date, I'm sorry, it was the reductions in jobs elsewhere in the metropolitan area reflecting the shifting spending patterns. Important stuff. They also had research from the actual OLG that indicated reduced revenues and therefore job losses, in their opinion, for retail, restaurant, and other entertainment functions, called something called the displacement effect. I'm sure you've come across the displacement effect in your studies in this vast report. This is from OLG published information that appeared in Gananoque related to their casino. The casino creates one job for each $220,000 of gross revenue. Many smaller businesses, and I believe this to be true for downtown Hamilton, a lot of great, unique, small businesses that, as Councillor McCaddy alluded to, are really, we've turned that corner, we're on a straightaway, and we have to give credit a lot to those smaller businesses. Smaller businesses can create a job with as little as $100,000 in gross revenues. This is a key. $220K in a casino revenue situation, only $100 in a small business situation that creates that one job. So it's likely that a net effect in the end is job losses, and that again is from an OLG published study as it related to Gananoque. Urban casinos, and I really spent a lot of the holiday trying to help out by beefing up our casino town hall after the holiday, but also studying up on this stuff, and here we are now. The urban casino versus the destination casino is really, and these are conversations we've had in the hallway, is really what the point I'm trying to make here. It goes on and on and on. But it tends to be that the politicians and their staff and those directly associated to wanting to bring centralized urban casino are the ones that push for it in their jurisdictions, because they're not necessarily paying attention to this displacement effect. They got their eye on a prize and not focusing on the bigger picture. And I don't want to be desperate in downtown Hamilton. I think we're well past that. And I'm wondering if any of the ones that I've referenced here actually fall under the umbrella of what you've indicated as the primary report. And any of what I've referenced here, does it ring a bell for you as it falls under the umbrella of your social and economic impacts final report commissioned by the Canadian Consortium of and for Gambling Research through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor?
Councillor Farr, do you have a question in there?
If any of the studies I just referenced as it relates to Kingston's material gathered by their downtown BIA, or Central Business Association, any of those, of the many that I have, I've referenced only a few, do any of them ring a bell? Do they fall under the umbrella of what you've determined as your main point of research, which I appreciate?
Yeah. Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, to the councillor. Many of the studies, and because we did share that earlier, have been documented. I have actually the full list that are here, and most of them are actually documented within this study. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Councillor Farr. Councillor Clark, please.
So, can we safely or have an accurate estimate as to how many people in Hamilton are gambling at Flamborough Downs, Niagara, and Brantford?
Just let me get to the slide, councillor. Carded? So those are our carded memberships, councillor.
And do we know how many buses are leaving Hamilton, or how many people are being bused from Hamilton to these areas?
From, through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, to the councillor, the most recent estimate, and we keep finding more, is about 56 buses leaving weekly. 56
buses weekly. So we've got a whack of Hamiltonians in gambling already at 3 sites, and they're being bussed out. Is anyone concerned that the province is going to, over a 6-year transformation period, add another $4.6 billion to the provincial government from gambling by putting gaming tables in all of these locations? And if we don't have a casino in Hamilton, all those people who are gambling at all of the other locations, all of the social costs are Hamilton, and we have no commission, no taxes, nothing from a gambling site to help us offset those social costs? How would we deal with that? I guess that would be rhetorical, but we're okay letting that happen.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. Councillor Whitehead.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, I was going to go in the same vein. But I want to be clear on the numbers. So you had 91,000 plus, we're talking about the card holders now, 91,643,000. So, well over 100,000 people in Hamilton that are carded. But that's not including the ones that are not carded. Is that correct?
Through Mr. Deputy Mayor, that is correct.
Is there any estimation of how many are gambling that are not carded? Is there any data on that?
Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, we don't have an estimate, and OLG could not provide us with that estimate.
Okay, so when we talk about these studies, the problem with the studies is that, and I think Councillor McCaddy said it best, and I appreciate and respect everything Councillor McCaddy says, quite frankly. The issue though is that there are different circumstances in different communities. Is that correct, through the chair?
Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, yes, that's correct.
So, in Hamilton being in the middle of the Golden Horseshoe, we have some challenges because we have how many casinos within a 25-kilometer radius?
Through Mr. Deputy Mayor, there will be several casinos within a very, maybe not 25-kilometer radius, but if you look at Milton, KW, potential down, Niagara way as well, Mississauga, so 3 or 4 for sure.
So it's clear that the carded players are not representing the overall number. So we could potentially have over 200,000 people spending, and I think the dollar amount was there. That's money leaving the community and benefiting those other communities. Is that correct?
Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, that is correct.
And that's a lost revenue potential for the City of Hamilton. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I guess it's also would be correct in stating that we don't know geographically, if we were to map out those individuals, where in the city they live.
Through you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, not those particular individuals, no. No.
How about the carded?
No.
Okay.
Pardon me, we probably could, yes. We would have all the address information for those card holders. I'm not sure if that would be released.
Fair enough. I just think we'd be interested to know how much concentration in certain geographic areas that we might find, because there's this whole thing about it's already here, and a lot of our residents are utilizing OLG facilities outside of Hamilton. You identified and quantified the numbers.